Sometimes I find a great looking mouse, but when I see the price, the desire immediately disappears. But in today's market, there are a lot of interesting and even cheap alternatives like this one, so let's talk about it. The mouse you're looking at right now is the IPI Float, and at first the name told me absolutely nothing. What told me something, however, was the price, the specs, and its similarity with this Finalmouse. But is it worth it, or is it just gonna be another useless clone? Let's find it out. Package-wise, it immediately destroys Finalmouse because there's the mouse, 8K receiver, cable, spare skates, and grips. For the price of 50 to 60 euros, that's great, but what I was primarily interested in were the similarities, material, build quality, and functionality. Design-wise, we can see black body with gold details that aren't noticeable to the touch, so it doesn't compromise main buttons in any way. Material should be carbon composite, and even though the whole body's got holes, the material used in the IPI Float is well made and very sturdy. I can press on it anywhere I want, and I can't hear any unwanted sounds, and also can't feel any flex at all. This body is absolutely sturdy. I definitely wouldn't try on pressing on my Finalmouse this hard. And yes, up to now I was saying that this should be somewhat of a Finalmouse clone, but in my perspective it resembles the Arbiter Akitsu way more. Akitsu was also extremely sturdy, and design, in-hand feeling, it was way more like this IPI Float. Yes, Akitsu was a bit narrower and also slightly smaller, but still, to me, it's closer than the Finalmouse. If I go back to the IPI though, it's a medium-sized mouse, which to me was the most comfortable for claw. I had just enough back palm support, and my fingers sit right in the middle of the buttons, where it was the most ideal. For fingertip it was also very usable, but I'd recommend it for larger hands, while if you wanted to palm grip it, it'd be ideal to have smaller hands than me. However, coating-wise, I never had any issues gripping it. It was grippy enough so that I never needed to apply the provided grip tapes. The coating wasn't extremely grippy, but it's above average, so it never slipped, and also I had no issues with fingerprints. Weight-wise, we're talking about 43 grams, which is a super light mouse territory. Very importantly, the main buttons, thanks to the used KL wide blade switches, were extremely responsive, very, and I repeat, very clicky and easily spammable, and even at this price point, without any pre or post travel. The main buttons also had no button wobble whatsoever, and overall were simply one of the nicest. Scroll wheels got nicely defined steps, it's not too light and not too heavy to scroll, but the middle clicks not so great because it's quite stiff and a bit mushy. What is absolutely crispy though are the side buttons, which have basically no pre or post travel. They require just right amount of force and are very easily spammable. Great side buttons. Turning it over reveals the DPI button, switch between 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth mode, and 4 corner skates. Skates, unfortunately, are one of the things that I have mixed opinion on. They aren't bad, glide okay, and aren't scratchy. They were fine to use, but also were a bit too loud, and if I used the mouse for longer, I'd definitely switch them out for aftermarkets. Up to now, you could say that this is basically a perfect mouse for perfect money, but there's still software and performance to get to. When I first started testing the mouse, there was only this not so great software to install, but while filming this video I stumbled upon web-based software, and that's insane. You can set up everything you need, starting with the DPI, lift-off distance, polling rate, different macros, but also sleep mode, debounce time, motion sync, and these 3 modes that I have no idea what they do. After setting it all up, the most important thing came to the table, and that's gaming performance. Usually I say stuff like it worked as it should, there were no problems, something. The usual stuff I'm used to. Unfortunately, when it comes to the IPI Float, it wasn't so easy. Don't get me wrong, most of the time it worked great, and it still remains that when it worked great, all the polling grades worked flawlessly, click response was on point, and most of the time I really couldn't feel that it's so cheap. But then came a few moments where it very clearly stated that it wasn't that flawless. From time to time it skipped a portion of my movement, or sometimes the cursor reacted as if it was connected on Bluetooth or at 125 Hz. Basically, from time to time it acted weird, and I haven't found the cause, even though I think it could have just been some kind of interference. Most of the time it worked, but from time to time for a second or two it acted out, and after that it worked good for the next couple of hours. Build, buttons, design, coding, it's truly great in those aspects, but unfortunately I can't just tell you to go and buy it, because it wasn't as flawless as I hoped for it to be. Because of that, I won't give a recommendation at the end of this, and thanks to the video, you can decide yourself if you're gonna give it a try or not. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Here, check out another one, and I'll see you again next Friday. Bye!